Today is the date 14/12/2021, right? And let's have a recap last class what we have discussed, last session we have discussed. Then we'll talk about a couple of things. What we have discussed, we understood how the DNS is works and what is DNS, right? What else we have discussed apart from the DNS?
Yeah.
Yeah, some basic what are things we need to be concentrate on that for Windows Server Administrator part. Okay,
Mm.
what are the topics we need to know as to become a system administrator or server administrator,
Mm.
right? Then second one is we have discussed, so most of time this is important for the how, what is DNS,
Mm.
what is DNS, why we need a DNS,
Mm.
right? And how to configure,
DNS server.
how
Mm.
to configure reverse lookup zone.
Mm.
Okay, then what are the records,
Mm.
what are the records, and how to verify name resolving, right? Name resolving, and how to
Mm.
check DNS, DNS, DNS working status, right? And
Mm.
how to clear DNS cache,
Mm.
right? And how to verify overall DNS concept, right?
Mm.
These are the topics we have discussed last class. We have proved, we have understood how actually DNS works properly, right? By installing IAS, and we have seen that is in initially it was able to accessing for uh, with IP address. When we try
Mm.
to accessing for HTTP /www dot neil.edu, it was not right. It was
Mm.
it was not it was not accessing, right? Then we have configured reverse lookup zone. Then we have created host record of
Mm.
www in forward lookup zone FLZ, right?
Mm.
Then we have cleared the cache, clear
Mm.
the cache. Okay, clear that.
Mm.
Then we are able to accessing with FQDN, which is
Mm.
called as a which is called as a this is the one,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Now couple of things you need to understand before moving to the topic, new topic. Any question in this?
Mm. No, anything, nothing.
Good. Okay. Now what we are going to talk about today, just concentrate here of your profile as discussed yesterday, right?
Mm.
So overall your skill looks good in, or it's related for in desktop support, and it will be a desktop support will be sticking on in one area, right? It is just for the
Mm.
end user support, right?
Mm.
But when you say
Mm.
system administrator, or you can say server administrator,
Mm.
right? Or you can say IT engineer, These are the
mm,
many designations from the depends on the company. So it will be looking infra
mm,
level, which is you are going to managing server, okay, Windows Server infrastructure. In this, in a operation mode, there will be a L1 job, okay, L1, L2,
mm, mm,
L1,
mm,
L2, and L3, right?
mm,
So your
mm,
profile, as of now, since it's a within a 2 year of experience, okay, within a
mm,
2 years of
mm,
it will meet, it will suits for L1 support, right?
mm,
L1 support. The profile will be suits for L1 support. Then what are the tasks, or you can say roles and
mm,
responsibilities of L1 Windows Server Administrator,
mm,
Windows Administrator, L1 support, right? You should know this point very confidently.
mm,
So you should know that very first part, number one, okay?
mm,
What is what are the types of operating system? Number
mm,
two, right?
mm,
You should know that is in what kind of roles are there
mm,
in server. Either you can
okay.
say 2012,
Mm,
2016, and 2019, right?
okay. Mm,
Now, basically, it will major concentrate on for the topic called as a Active
mm,
Directory.
mm,
Active Directory. In the Active Directory, you should know that is in basically how to check,
mm,
how to check, check, how to check domain controller and
mm,
clients, right? And basically, you
mm,
should know how to create users, groups, groups,
mm,
OU, right? These are you should know that is in, and
mm,
how to create group policy,
mm,
right? And how to configure group policy, right?
mm,
And
mm,
also, you know, how to how to configure group policy, how to check the replication between
mm,
two domain controller, two DCs, or between DCs, between sites.
okay.
Okay, these are the major important to know that is Active Directory. Also,
Mm,
you can see that is in how to manage users, how to manage how to manage
mm,
or
mm,
administrate of users. Like you can say configuring
mm,
profiles,
yeah. Mm,
configuring home drive, right?
okay.
And configuring to manage logon hours
Mm,
and log on to.
time.
Correct.
Uh,
Log on hours means scheduling the time, and log on to means
yeah,
specific computer should log in.
yeah,
So
like a machine. Okay.
correct. These are the majorly you should know. This is boundary we are putting L1 support. There are a lot of things to be understanding when you move to the L2, when you move to the L3, right? So there is a
Mm,
so entering into the company, the journey going to start in infrastructure
mm,
level. You must know that is in very confident. When you ask yourself, it is
mm,
I'm able to manage myself. If your mind says yes, then you are good
mm,
to move or good to move.
Mm.
Fourth one is what is DNS?
Mm.
In this DNS, okay, say topic in the DNS. These are all we have covered, right? Almost last 6 to 7 days we were
Yeah.
discussing completely, and you're little confident on this, right? Okay,
Mm.
what is DNS? Okay, how DNS works? These are all entry question asks. You can update in your profile directly like that, right? So
Mm.
what are the zone are there? Okay,
Mm.
and how to configure reverse lookup zone,
Mm.
right? Then how to create a record. These are all simple. How to create a host
Mm.
record, host records, and how to check DNS DNS status. Okay, which is you can give that is IP uh, uh, NS lookup. The command, if you give that NS lookup, it will tell you that is in
Mm.
how the DNS is works, right? And also you
Mm.
understood uh, how DNS will resolve
Mm.
the, okay, naming resolve, which is IP to name and name to IP.
IP.
So we have verified, right? And command to check DNS, okay, and
Mm.
clear the cache DNS, right? And what is the port number of DNS?
What is the port number of DNS?
53.
Mm.
Remember,
Okay.
okay, right?
Okay.
Now we have configured everything in this manner, right? And also you should know some couple of shortcut command. Okay,
Mm.
shortcut command. What are those? Now I want to restart computer remotely or local machine computer with command prompt. With the command prompt, how do you use it? I can say shut shutdown. You must remember this. Okay, shutdown
Okay.
hyphen r space 0. Okay, space 0. Now you
Mm.
want to say hyphen 0 hyphen t. Okay, what does this command says? With the
Mm.
command you can say that restart. You can just test it
Restart.
how it
Mm.
works with practically. Now you can say go to this your user which you are logged in. Okay, now I can
Mm.
go to this command prompt cmd.
Yeah.
What is the command for to use a reboot? shutdown hyphen r hyphen
Mm.
t 0. See, right? You are restarting by
Mm.
using command prompt, right? This is will ask question shutdown
Mm.
hyphen sorry space slash r space slash 0 time. See, it's a within a second. 0 means for second. Okay,
Yeah. Mm.
and you can say that is in command called as a to check the IP addresses to verify all the IP addresses. What is that? You can say IP config
If big all
all.
slash all.
Okay. I want to check. I want to check uh, network status of other computer.
Ping or NS lookup.
Correct. Ping. Okay.
Mm.
And to check DNS status, so we can say NS lookup to verify that is in clear the cache. Okay,
Mm.
cache,
Mm.
which is IP config space slash flush DNS. Okay, and you want to release the IP address, that is called as a IP config space release. From the DHCP, the IP address is taking. Then you want to
Mm.
re-verify that is in. You want to release the IP address, and you
Mm.
can use it. But you need to renew the IP address. Same things. Renew the IP address. You should use for IP config space renew. Okay, remember
Mm.
these two is most important. When the machine is got the IP address from the DSCP,
Mm.
release IP address, IP config release, renew IP address for
Mm.
IP config for renew, right? And
Mm.
some other networking related, right?
Mm.
Networking related trace set. This
Trace with, it
this will,
traces a packet, how long it
yeah,
takes.
yes.
Mm.
That is one you need to check it. NCPA
Mm.
networking status. Okay,
Mm.
network status, which is a
Mm. Mm.
packet
Takes
status.
time to.
Okay, then you can say that is in uh, ping. Okay, IP address which
Mm.
you give that is in hyphen T. Okay, so what it will
Mm.
give you here, for example. Okay,
Again, have to. Mm.
ncpa.cpl for
This is for
CPL
network connection screen,
network
right? Mm.
network configuration,
Mm.
which is icon should open.
Mm.
Right? And for Active Directory, you should remember some couple of commands. Okay, tools to
Mm.
edit tool to open by
Mm.
using commands. Okay,
Mm.
what are those? You can say here. One is dsa.msc, which is
Mm. Active Directory users and computers. Mm.
computers, and dsi.msc, which is
Mm.
Active Directory,
Mm.
Active Directory
Uh,
sites and services,
okay.
domain.msc, Active
Domain
Direct,
controller. Mm.
no, Active Directory domain interest.
Domain interest. Okay.
Okay, and gpmc.msc for group policy management console. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
and for DNS
Computer management. Okay. Mm.
group policy management console. Yeah, computer management will come back. The DNS for DNS mgmt.msc.
Mm.
Okay, DHCP can use DHCP mgmt.msc.
Mm.
Okay, and COMP mgmt.msc for local users and computers. right? These are all you should remember entry purpose. Okay, you will be get ready with all. You are feeding information to your mind. Okay, for whatever L1 support, what are the things we need to know, that everything you are understanding here. So now you have a lot of confidence that within this, if they ask question, you will be practically you will be able to answer them confidently. Okay, so when you go to the command prompt, now what I mean by T here, hyphen T.
Time, right?
Yeah, so now it will be continually you are getting this ping. You will not be usually, you can say ncpa.cpl properties. One dot one dot two, right? This is one dot one dot three. So now you can see ping 20.1.1.2. If you ping, it will be end this IP address, right? After 4 packet. But
Yes.
you have rebooted this machine. I want to check when it has come up. Okay, to check that is in ping 20.1.1.2 hyphen T. Say for example, you are going to reboot this machine. Okay, reboot this machine. Now you can see, just keep continuing your ping status. Okay. Now you rebooted the machine, right? Now you're going to reboot and you can capture here when it was stopped, this machine, and after it stopped, when it was start. Okay, to this kind of checking, you can see that is in the production environment. Okay,
Okay.
so for example, let's come back here. Now you can say I'm continue pinging, right? Machine is connected. Now what I will do, I will go to reboot this machine. Okay, CMD. What is the command we are going to use for rebooting from the command prompt? sh
Down
hyphen r
slash
hyphen t
slash
0.
0.
Correct? Sorry. shut hyphen r hyphen t.
Actually, 0 has to come.
No, correct. It's d only. What command we give now?
First we gave, right? See?
Correct. 0.
0. No time.
Right. Shutdown hyphen r hyphen 0 hyphen t. What happened?
Oh, this is same.
shut w. It was taken correctly, right? What was the wrong? Hyphen r.
Or is shut down and restart the computer is given. Slash or is to full shutdown and restart the computer.
T set the timeout. It's we are giving correctly. So shutdown hyphen r hyphen t 0. Oh, why it is not taking? Okay, just you can give that hyphen R. Okay, shutdown R hyphen T. So
Yeah.
now I have shutting down. Okay,
Hmm.
Windows will shut down in the less than minute. Close it. Okay, or you can say hyphen 0. Now it will, because if you're not giving the time, right, it will wait for the less than minute. Then it will be reboot. That's what I have
Hmm.
tried to give for here. It is going to
Hmm.
reboot now. Hyphen 0. See here.
Hmm.
Now see here. I have rebooted. Oh, which machine I have pinging? Now you can see ping
Hmm.
20.1.1.3 hyphen T. Now you can say I'm pinging this machine. Okay, 3 is a pinging and still is rebooting this machine. Okay, and when it is get disconnected, you can see it will see you. It will show you the requested timeout.
Hmm.
Okay, now in a production, see here,
Yeah.
right? Now I wanted to verify. I have rebooted the machine in a production server and it was connected and now it is down now. Now I have rebooted the machine and this will help you to later when you are connecting remotely and sitting in your place and you
Hmm.
don't know when it is coming up. How do you verify? So you can verify this hyphen T and it's going to
Hmm.
continue pinging. Now, once it is continue pinging, you will come to know this server is up and running. See,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Understand.
Now it is a things you need to verify.
Hmm.
Okay. For this to
Hmm.
use the continue pinging.
Hmm.
Okay. These are all basic things required to verify in our shutdown hyphen R. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
let's correct once again this exactly command what you're going to give. Shutdown SHUTTOWN
Spelling wrong.
TTOWN. Okay. Hyphen
Hmm.
R hyphen T
Or slash. Hmm. Yeah.
just say
Hyphen
0.
zero. Hmm. No, zero has to come.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
Hyphen R hyphen T 0.
Yeah.
Hyphen R
But
hyphen T.
hyphen, you did not give hyphen, just give zero.
Correct,
You did
correct,
not give, yeah.
correct, correct. This is the right one.
Hmm.
Okay, this is the right command actually, which we have tested now.
Yes.
Okay,
No need to give hyphen.
let's see. Wait, you can give the hyphen also. We'll see that one also.
Hmm.
Which one is correct? Okay,
Hmm.
understood. So these are the basically you need to understand the DNS MGMT command and apart from this command, right? So these are the basic things you need to be understand before you move to the check the Google or something. So these are the questions they'll ask you. Okay, active date related, okay, DNS related and DHCPL related also, right? Any question in this? You need to update for in your profile clearly and
Hmm.
what kind of you have skill set, right?
Hmm.
Any question in this?
No.
Okay, let's talk about how the DHCP works. You know how the
Hmm.
DHCP works. This is also one of the interview question. And
Mm.
most of the time, end user, we need to make sure the DHCP actually working or not. What
Mm.
is DHCP
Dynamic host configuration protocol.
and how it works, right?
Mm.
DHCP stands for, yes, right,
Mm.
dynamic host
Host
configuration
configuration.
protocol,
Mm.
right? What purpose we
Mm.
need to use?
It automatically it will give the IP address when connected to the internet. It won't be static.
Okay, connect. Okay, DHCP will release, or you can say provide, the IP addresses to the client machine, right? Which is dynamically.
Yeah.
How? How it will provide,
The
right?
IP address, if you have 100 machine, it automatically deducts the client machine and assign the IP address.
One second.
Mm.
It's not taking.
Mm.
Let me quickly configure for my Active Directory again. So then we'll talk about the how actually DHCP configure, how these two client will get a IP addresses.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
just see that quickly.
Mm.
5 minutes. We are going to start for installing. You are going to understanding how the DHCP will configure. Basically,
Yeah.
it will not directly get the IP address to the
Mm.
client. You have to define in your DHCP server the pool
Mm.
of IP address. Okay, it will
Mm.
basically, there is a process called as a DORA.
Mm.
Okay, the DHCP works called as a DORA. What is DORA
Okay.
here? D indicate for discover.
Mm.
Okay, discover.
Mm.
O indicate for offer. R indicates for request. A indicate for acknowledgement.
Mm.
So what do you mean by the discover? It is going to happening to the client machine to
Mm.
server, which is
Mm.
client, which is server. When your
Mm.
computer keep obtain IP address,
Mm.
because you have mentioned earlier for the static IP address, right? Earlier you have defined a
Mm.
static IP address. Now your machine must take for DNS IP, so DHCP IP address. Then what you need to
Mm.
do? You have to keep obtain IP address, right?
Mm.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Your machine must be do like that. ncpa.cpl, and instead
Mm.
of a static IP address properties,
Mm.
you have to go to TCP IP proper. Okay, give me 1 minute. This I need to uncheck. Okay, properties. You should keep obtain IP address automatically have to keep, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Then
Yeah.
only then only your computer will
To
be
obtain.
start. Your computer will
Mm.
be start discovering.
Yeah.
The moment you keep
Okay.
this obtain IP address, your computer will be discovering
Mm.
start discovering. Okay,
Mm.
so that
Mm.
process happening from client to server. Okay, let
mm,
me just activate the domain services and DNS. Right, the process is going to happening from the client to service discover. Yeah, when it's going to happening,
mm.
when your computer keep, that is in keep obtain IP address automatically. So then your
Yes.
computer will be start, your client computer will start discovering where is my IP, where is IP, where is IP. It will be keep
Mm,
searching in the network only. In the
mm,
network, if the DHCP server is not found, what will happen?
mm, mm. Have to install for that purpose. We have to, if installation is there, then only it will find the DHCP server automatically.
If not found DHCP server, what will happen?
It will ask for the static IP address.
No, don't have a static IP address and you have kept a default opt-in IP address. Remember, it will wait for the few seconds as per the define the timeline. It will be keep searching, keep
Mm,
searching, keep searching as a discovering, as a part of the discovering. If your DHCP
mm,
server is not found within the network, the system
mm.
itself will generate one IP address. The computer itself is generate one IP address that is called as a
Okay. Mm.
APIPA IP address.
Yeah, I have learned this all those things.
What is the
Yeah,
APIPA IP address? What is the IP?
automatically.
Automatic private IP address.
Mm,
Remember, the system itself is a generate one IP address when the
mm,
DHCP server did not found. That's what I asked question you specifically.
mm,
When did
mm,
you find your DHCP server is not? How do you verify your DHCP working or not? You know that is an
mm,
IP address is getting IP address is already enabled or not with the help of IP config all. We know this one. DHCPs
mm.
exist. Okay, but
Yeah.
our IP address is not getting from the DHCP. How do you verify? When your client got automatic private IP address, okay,
Mm,
that is
mm,
if DHCP server unable to find in the network, okay,
mm.
what is happening? Client machine will generate IP called
Call
APIPA.
AI. Mm,
What is that?
automatic.
Automatic private.
Private IP address.
Correct. What is the range of that? You know, there is a by default exclamation symbol will come, and when you see the IP address, it will come 169 dot, okay,
Mm,
169 dot 254.0 something. It will get IP address like
okay.
that.
Okay.
Whenever you see the 169, then you think about your client computer unable to reach your
DHCP.
DHCP server. So that
Mm,
time you need to, is that only one computer is happening? Is that multiple computers happening? That is again you are
mm,
going to find. If it is only one computer is happening that in, then it is not issue with the DHCP. So multiple computers happening, then you can say
mm.
there is a issue with the DHCP, right?
Yeah.
Yes, let's come back this point. We have to verify one by one, okay,
Mm,
how it actually works and how to configure and how to test it. How the DHCP works, we can practically do and see this one. Okay, I'm just
mm,
installing my activity. I'm bringing back which we have last time installed. So just finishing for this, then we'll talk about our DHCP. Okay, let me click install, let it come back. Okay, now you can see. Now you understood what I mean by D indicate.
DH. Yeah.
D indicate only. We have to discuss yet to for these three component. Okay. D means your
Okay.
client computer will be, when you keep opt-in IP address, then it will be keep discovering. And if the DHCP server unable to find, then your client will generate one IP address that is called as a APIPA IP address.
APIP. Mm,
Correct. If the DHCP server found in the network, then
mm,
it the the server will connect now, right? Server will connect now. So that time he will ask you, I'm here to help you. Tell me what offer you are looking. The offer is going to happening from server to client.
Mm.
The discover happening client to server.
Okay.
Offer is happening server to client. Server is
Thanks.
found. Server is
Mm.
found. The server will ask you that isn't, hey, I'm here to help you for whatever your requirement. I'm offering you. Tell me what you need to do. Okay, that process happening from the server to client.
Mm.
Now, once the client know, yes, my DHCP server, I found it. What he will do? He will request again. It's going to happening client to server. Client to
Mm.
server. He will request, please help me to provide my IP address.
Mm.
Okay, the client to server. Now, client will
Okay.
request to the server request. Then, once a
Mm.
request is received to the server, server will
Mm.
release the IP address to the client, and he will have that IP address as an acknowledgement, which
Mm.
is whom I have provided IP address, what IP address I have provided. All the detail he should have acknowledgement. The whole
Mm.
complete process we call as a DORA
Dora.
process. What is that
Mm.
here? The whole complete called as a DORA process. So you should remember, somebody asks question interview, you should tell this is how it works. Discover, okay,
Mm.
discover, which is happening for server to, sorry, client to server,
Yeah.
client to server,
Mm.
right? And second one is offer. It's happening
Mm.
server to
Client.
client, right? And
Mm.
request, which is request server to, no, client to server, client to server. Okay, acknowledgement, ACK, acknowledgement, that is happening for server to client. Remember this point. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Now, how the DSCP will release the IP address? How the DSCP will release the
IP address.
IP address? Okay, how the DSCP will release the IP address? The process is FI, first in, first serve. Who will reach first? Who will reach first? Client machine to client to DSCP. For them, he will release the IP address. Okay, who
Mm.
will first reach? Okay, who will first reach? Who will reach first? Client machine to
Client to
DSCP. He will
DHCP.
he will get IP address from
Mm.
DSCP. Okay, then
Mm.
from where the DSCP will IP address provided? From the where DSCP, from where DSCP
Mm.
will release the IP address, right?
Mm.
For that, you have to configure, okay,
Mm. Mm.
to bundle of IP address, you have to configure as a scope, as a scope, okay, bundle of IP address, or you can say some range of IP address,
Mm.
some range of IP addresses.
Mm.
Already you have to configure some ranges IP addresses in DSCP server. That we called as a scope of IP address. So you want to configure 100 IP address, okay? You want to configure 20 IP address, you want to configure 10 IP address, you need to tell 20.1.1.10 is my
Mm.
first IP address,
Mm.
to start off of this IP address. Then you should tell 10.20.1.1.20 of my
Yeah.
last IP
Yeah.
address.
Address. Mm.
So you need to configure in your DSCP server DHCP server. These are the IP address I am configuring you. I'm putting you in your database, and whoever reach you, you can just release it. Okay. I'm giving you 100 rupees advance, and whoever asks you, you can give to them from your pocket. 10 rupees 1%, 10 rupees 1%, 10 rupees 1%. So you can give 10 people, right?
Yeah.
So that is what I'm telling you. The DSCP, I'm already assigning some IP address, so you can release them. Now, what's happening sometime? Some of IP address already assigned within this range. Okay. Now 20.1.10 and 20, something between these 10 to 20, there are 10 IP addresses are there, right? So what happens
Yes.
if 16 20.1.1 IP address someone you have assigned already as a static IP address? What's happening in this scenario? It will happening for conflict, right? DSCP will
Yeah, it will continuously, it will,
yeah, it will be conflict.
mm,
So you need to tell to the DSCP, if somebody is given already IP address, I can say exclude those IP address
mm,
while configuring only. Okay. So
mm,
these are all things has to do in a DSCP. Let's come back here in my server. How the DSCP work, you can see this one. Okay, just log in this
mm,
machine. Okay, log in this machine. See how to configure the DSCP server. So to install the DSCP server, what you need to do? You have to install the
this,
role of the DSCP.
yeah.
Okay,
Mm,
install to configure DSCP. DSCP server. What you need to do? You have
mm,
to install
roles and features.
roles of DSCP.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
how to do? You can see here. Now go to the add roles and feature.
mm.
You getting my point? What I'm trying to explain here?
Yes.
You're understanding?
Yeah, I'm understanding.
Good, good.
First, we did server roles and DNS, now DHCP.
Correct.
In DHCP, yeah, in DHCP, what? Mm,
What? How do we configure and how do we create a scope and all this will come to know.
yeah, yeah.
Good.
Here we no need to go for NAT.
Not required. Just see that is in because when you go to
Yeah, usually we have to check. Uh,
network settings should be all same. Okay, sometime if you give the NAT, right, it won't work your DSCP because my machine is already in a part of DSCP. So it should not have a conflict to my DSCP. It should not take my DSCP. That's what I'm making separate network of these machines. Okay.
okay.
Now you can see DSCP server. Click add feature. Go to the next. Now what is the DSCP here? Dynamic host configuration protocol server enables you to centrally configure, manage, and provide temporary IP address and related information to client computer.
Client
I'm
computers.
going to install a DSCP server. Go to next. Just go next. Just say next. Install it. Just see how it works.
Mm.
Now, are you confident to give a interview now, Ramya? Now you are feeling something.
Today,
No, not today. I'm saying generic. So how are you feeling?
tomorrow.
How are you feeling? No, not for the I'm saying tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whenever it is. But how you
Yeah,
are
I have
feeling?
somehow, yeah, I have confident to face the interview.
Correct.
It's okay, but sometimes here they will ask unexpected question. That time I was struggling, but I have I will have an idea. But in interview, while asking, I just um,
Tell them that time.
what,
Yeah, I don't know that this question. Yeah, so honestly tell you that is I have not come across this kind of question, so maybe I need to look into this. Simple. Okay,
mm,
if they are telling you okay, because whatever that's what I'm keep telling, whatever you put updated in a profile, they will be
mm,
go and ask all the questions. That's what I'm specifically mentioning.
mm,
You have to bring them forced to ask these questions, and I'm explaining you some little deeper level to understand, rather only something they ask you, okay, tell me my DSCP is not working, where are you going to check, how are you going to check. You should understand these are also point. Then only
mm,
they'll select you, hey, this girl has knowledge on some little more detail like that, right?
mm,
And every
mm,
topic I'm giving you little more details,
mm.
okay, rather than just only explaining you from the basic level.
Okay.
Okay, so you
Mm,
need to little just concentrate on that. Okay,
mm,
then you can prepare it.
mm.
Administrator, just you can start from the DSCP installation. Okay,
Mm.
I'm giving you.
Administration double I have given spelling.
Yeah, sir, correct. Correct.
Service is not optional.
Let's see here. ncp.cpl properties.
Otherwise, give me one day time. Tomorrow I will prepare and I will come on mock interview on Thursday. Is it okay for you?
Yeah, I'm okay, Ramya. I'm okay. You should be get ready for that. I'm okay with that anytime. But ultimately, I'm forcing you
Mm.
to come to the water. Water means
What come to?
come to the water. Water means technically you need to sit and do
Mm.
something. So now you are in already little stepping into that
Mm.
water, right? You have to
Mm.
swim into that water. So you don't know what is the in depth of that river, or you can say ocean, but somehow you
Yeah.
have to swim it, right? So swim means you have to start giving interview. You have to um,
Okay.
understand that is in what kind of questions they'll ask, what kind of the responsibility
Mm.
of a system administrator. All these
Mm.
things we are going to understanding now.
Okay.
Okay, see this is IP address giving problem. DNS I have given. Okay, that's all. Now you can say here, click OK. So it's taking a problem for the other IP address also been added additional. So that's what is having issue. So now come back here again, properties. Properties 20.1.1.1 advanced DNS. I removed it. Okay, all done. Say okay. Right now you can just go back and see that is in your Active Directory status.
Mm.
this computer properties. Okay, dc1.nil.edu and just say dsa.msc. Okay, something problem. There is an issue with this. So already I have installed of DHCP. Okay, there is an issue with you need to reboot once, okay? Because it's taking two IP address. I have removed from the IP address. It is 10.1. It's I need to reboot once. Okay, let me reboot this machine.
Yeah, taking to the
Correct. So I have removed it already. To take effect, I have to reboot once. Take your time tomorrow, one day. Okay,
yes.
and revised all the topic what you have covered, and just ping me over the WhatsApp when you are get ready. Either Friday, either Thursday, either tomorrow, no, Saturday, Sunday is not possible. So anytime before
I
this week.
am attending that class also. The Microsoft 365 class is also going on, right?
Correct. That's fine. So yeah, before Friday you can plan it.
Sure.
Let me reboot. I mean, I have rebooted already. Let me check that it's after rebooting. It should be works fine now. Because you observe there while installing, it has taken two IP addresses. So now
Yeah.
when I come and check it in IP config and network properties, it has two IP addresses. I have removed it one IP address. So I need to keep for only 20 range of IP address. So these
Okay,
machines I
it
have
will
given.
change one reboot. It will change into one.
Yeah, it should be the only one IP address, which is static IP address. Remember, always when we are configuring any IP address, any server side IP addresses, right? For them,
They
it
have to
must be
be in static.
correct. This is the most important. So whenever you are going to do the client machine, then you have to go ahead to configure for a dynamic IP address, right? So this is one of the most important. Because what's happening if you give the design static dynamic IP address, it will not work properly because sometimes the IP address get changed. Okay, let's see. I'm logging now. Now this should work with the domain administrator IP address. Right, dsa.msc. Right, I'm able to accessing now my domain controller. Right, now come back here, my DHCP role, click the flag place. You should be able to see that is in DHCP install. We have did it. Okay, let's refresh this dashboard. Okay. Right now you can click here and complete the DHCP configuration. Now it will ask you that is in the by default the DHCP administrator group will create it. by default when you install the role, right?
Mm.
Click the next and it will take you your default using administrator role. Earlier it was not showing this one, right? Because of the IP address conflict. Okay, then done. Now this is just a standalone. This is empty DSCP. We have installed it. How to configure it
Yeah.
here? To configure now, what you need to do, you have to create a scope, right? You have to create
Mm.
a scope. How to create a
Mm.
scope? Go to the DSCP role, go to the tool, go to the DSCP. Now this is a DSCP console will come here. In this, you
Mm.
need to configure the IP version 4. Okay,
Mm.
you can see there is a IP version 4. Okay, and the server option, there is no scope, right? There's no
Mm.
scope, right?
Mm.
And right click in this, create a new scope, go next.
Mm.
I want to tell this DSCP, this is my for the test DSCP. In a production base, you
Mm.
can give whatever the name purpose you are giving the DSCP, either based on the location and all, you can give them. Okay, next here it is a
Mm.
start IP address. Since these three machines I use a
Mm.
20 range of IP address, I will use the 20 range
Mm.
1.1.10. I'll give the start IP
Mm.
address. I can say 10.1.20. So I'm telling
Mm.
10 IP address you need to release the, for testing purpose,
Mm.
I'm giving the 20 IP address. In production base, depends on how the network is configured, how many IP addresses are
Mm.
needed in that network, you can configure for these many IP addresses. By default will
Okay.
be length and to definite the subnet mask will be default coming to 55.0.0.0. Okay,
Mm.
go ahead next.
Mm.
And as I told you, within this range, if somebody is
Mm.
giving the mother IP address, this point, right? 16 IP somebody given, so that you need to, it is going to conflict. So what you need to do, you have to say exclude those IP address. So since I have not used
Mm.
any of the IP address, I don't want to use any exclusion here. If it is there, then you have
Mm.
to type don't consider this IP address within that range.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
go
Mm.
next.
Mm.
Lease period will be 8 days by default. Okay, and say yes. And I don't have any router. Say next.
Mm.
And this is my domain already I have configured. It is
Mm.
detected automatically. Say next. And I don't have any Win server. And yes, I want to activate the scope now. Finish it. Now
Mm.
this is going to take
Mm.
for 20.0.0.0 as a network address. Okay.
Yeah.
So here
Mm.
it is a scope is created. Now this
Mm.
machine is not being given anybody as a released IP address. Now those you can
Mm.
check it in a address list. In a address list,
Mm.
you can see client IP address, name, lease expiry, everything
Mm.
it will become details. Now we can see the
Mm.
DORA process, how it works. Go to your client machine. Okay, log
Mm.
in this machine here.
Mm.
Okay, log in this machine.
Mm.
Now, okay. So now this
Mm.
machine also I'm going to log in. Right. Now what I will do, I will just log in. I will go to that my network properties. I will keep opt-in my IP address. So this system should find a DSCP server within the network, and this DSCP server will release the IP address. All of your DORA concept should work now, right? So you can see that how
Mm.
it works, and ultimately the client machine should get IP address from a DSCP server. Now you can go to ncpa.cpl.
Mm.
Okay, run ncpa.cpl. ncpa.cpl properties. Okay. Now go to TCP properties. Now I given the two IP address. What I need to do, I can everything I will say obtain an IP address
Optically,
automatically.
optically, yeah.
The moment I keep OK, what's happening
Mm,
here? This machine is going to start discovering. Okay,
okay.
start discovering.
Mm,
During the discovering, it's a, you can see it's all process happened. All you can see you got the IP address. Say yes.
mm,
Now you can see the what IP address has been taken. Go to the properties. You won't be able to see any IP address here, right? You won't be able to see in actual IP config here. You can say TCP IP properties. You don't see the IP address, but this machine got the IP address. How do you check
yeah.
it? Right click, say
Status.
status. Now go to the details. See
Details.
who reached the first in first serve.
IP address.
So
Yes, yes.
the DC1 released the IP address to him. So DSCP enabled now,
Yeah.
right? Now you can also go and see the DC1 database. He will tell you whom I have provided the IP address. See, refresh it
Mm,
and see that is
mm,
in 20.1.1.10. I have given to the
mm.
nil client1.nil.edu. The type is DSCP
Yeah.
and all these things. And you can go to the
Yeah.
client machine also, second machine as well. Go to this is ncpa.cpl.
Yeah, for every machine we have to take from static IP address. Then only it will assign automatically, right? We have to take
Yeah,
off, right?
you should. Exactly. If you give the static, it won't give the IP address
Yeah,
to
we
that
have to
machine.
select.
Yeah, you have to select it. Every machine must be, because in every company will
Mm,
not have a static IP address for the end user, right?
mm,
Yes or
mm,
no? They
yeah.
don't have that is in static IP. They have a
Mm,
DSCP IP address only. So I'm putting the second machine as well as a dynamic IP address. Let discovery is happening. Okay. Within the network, if the DSCP server is found, now this machine also get a
mm,
second IP address. Now go back here, just say refresh. See the 11 IP address you got it client 2.
uh,
Now come back to here. Now go to this machine status, go to the detail.
detail.
See 11 IP address you got it. Now your DSCP
Mm,
server, you have 2 IP addresses here, and go to this is
mm,
detail. You can see that this is yes. Now when you go to the command prompt, this is you can see actually in a practical, right? CMD
mm.
IP config space all. See that is in 20 dot. What is your IP address? Your IP address
Ah,
is
yes.
11 and DSCP is enabled,
Yes. Mm,
and the DNS has also been configured your machine.
yeah. Mm,
So if they ask question in your interview on DSCP, can you able to manage it,
yeah, sure.
right?
Yeah.
Understood here how the DSCP works and what are the questions we'll ask them. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, can.
You understood clearly how the actual DSCP works now?
Yeah, yeah, I understand. But what question you ask? How you will find the DHCP is connected? So by seeing the properties, we can see whether it is automatically like that. We can see, right?
Correct, correct,
First, you ask the question how it is connected or not. You how you check whether DHCP is connected.
correct.
You can go to ncpa.cpl. There you can go there and check the properties and see whether it is automatic dynamically.
There are the configuration set, configuration as a set or not, dynamically set or not, which is keep opt an IP
Yeah,
address.
from that we can come to this conclusion as it is DHCP.
Correct, correct.
Mm.
Understood, Ramya.
Yeah, yeah, understood. Yeah,
Now you're getting confident, little confident
yeah.
as a system administrator role or desktop support role.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to go. So thank you so much for your support, Ramya. Then you let us know for when you are available. We'll take one call, one
Yeah,
more,
I will. Yeah,
one
I will WhatsApp you the message. Mhm.
that would be good. Okay. So
Yeah.
any questions are there? Feel free to reach out to me.